Hey everyone, my name is Thomas Fields, Department of Public Works. I'm here today to go over the DC pre-trip Class B dump truck. My keys in my pocket and my wheel is chalk. I look up under my vehicle, make sure there's no hanging wires or debris and no puddles. I make sure my vehicle not leaning to the left or the right, will indicate there's a suspension problem or a flat tire. My strobe lights, my marker lights, my left and right turn signal, all amber in color, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. My headlights, clear in color, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. My windshield, not cracked, damaged, or broken, no illegal stickers or obstruction, and my windshield got a proper rubber seal. My wiper arms, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. My wiper blades, not cracked, damaged, broken, or dry rotted or frayed, tight and secure. My mirror brackets, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. My flat and convex mirror, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure, clean and clear. Opening up my engine. My coolant reservoir, filled to the proper level. My cap got a proper rubber seal, not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. And I check my hose for damage and leaks. My windshield washer fluid, filled to the proper level. My cap got a proper rubber seal, not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaky, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. And I check my hose for damage and leaks. My belt-driven alternator, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. My alternator wires, not cracked, damaged, or broken, dry rotted, or frayed. My serpentine belt, not cracked, damaged, dry rotted, or frayed, and no more than 3/4 play in the middle. My power steering reservoir, not filled to the proper level. My cap got a proper rubber seal, not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. And I check my hoses for damage and leaks. My power steering pump, my gear-driven power steering pump, not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. And if the examiner ever asks, where's the power steering pump, you always follow the hose. Not this hose, because this hose is going to the steering gearbox. The hose up under here is going down there. That's why you point down there. The power gear-driven power steering pump. Okay. You got the gear-driven air compressor. See the box right here. Gear-driven air compressor. Not cracked, damaged, broken, no leaking. Not missing nuts and bolts. Tight and secure. Your air compressor governor. Not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking. Not missing nuts and bolts. Tight and secure. Your oil dipstick. You check it with the engine off. Pull out the dipstick. Wipe it clean. Pull it back out to get a proper read. Your transmission dipstick. You check it with the engine running. You pull out the dipstick, wipe it clean, pull it back out to get a proper read. Your air and electric lines. Make sure they're not cracked, damaged, broken, no leaking. Not missing nuts and bolts. Tight and secure. Your steering shaft. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, broken, or bent. Not missing nuts and bolts. Tight and secure. Your gear-driven steering gearbox. Not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking. Not missing nuts and bolts. Tight and secure. Your steering linkage. Not cracked, damaged, or broken. Not missing nuts and bolts. Tight and secure, which consists of pitman arm, drag link, stern knuckle, tie rod, crown nuts, and cotter pins. Your spring hanger, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight, secure. Your leaf spring, not cracked, damaged, or broken, or shifted. If 1/4 or more is missing, the vehicle need to be placed out of service. Your U-bolts, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight, secure. Your shock absorber, not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight, secure. Your brake chamber, not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. Check the hose for damage and leaks. Your slack adjusting push rod, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. To check your slack adjusting push rod, you will place the vehicle on a level plane, chalk the wheel, release the brake, pull the slack adjust out at 90 degrees angle, and the push rod should not come out no more than an inch. If it does, the vehicle need to be serviced by a certified mechanic. I check my drum and drum lining for grease and debris, and they make sure they're not dangerously worn thin. I check my inner and outer tire for cuts and bulges. I check the surface of my tire to make sure they're not mismatched or regrooved. I check my inner and outer rim, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no illegal wheels. I check my lug nuts to make sure they all are present. I look for metal shaving or rust, which indicates looseness. I check my hub oil seal, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. Check my hub oil seal. I'll pull out the center cap. To refill it, I'll pull out the side cap. I will check my vial stem and cap, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, tight and secure. And to check my tire pressure, I will use a tire pressure gauge. I will check my mud flap, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my door, make sure it opens and closes smoothly. I check my door hinges, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my handrail and step, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure, and it can properly hold my weight. I check my fuel tank, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, or leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure, and my cap got a proper rubber seal. And I check my fuel lines for damage and leaks. I check my splash guard, make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my marker light and turn signal. They're amber in color in the front, red in the rear. I check my truck frame. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no illegal wheels. And I check my drive shaft. My drive shaft. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, or bent. Not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my DOT tape. Make sure it's not clean and clear, not peeling. I check my spring hanger. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. And I check my leaf spring. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, or missing. If 1/4 or more is missing, the vehicle needs to be placed out of service. I check my U-bolts. Make sure they're not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my shock absorber. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, or leaky, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my brake chamber. And again, everything I said in the front is in the rear, but you can't see it. But you said you point to the back because the examiner knows it's back there. You check your shock absorber. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my brake chamber. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. And I check my hose for damage and leaks. I check my slack adjusting push rod. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. To check my slack adjusting push rod, I replace the vehicle on level plane, chalk the wheel, release the brake. I will pull the slack adjust out at 90 degrees angle. And my push rod should not come out more than an inch. If it does, the vehicle needs to be serviced by a certified mechanic. I check my drum and drum lining. Make sure there's no grease and debris, and the lining not dangerously worn thin. I checked my inner and outer tires for cuts and bulges. I checked my dual tires to make sure there's no grease and debris. Make sure there ain't no debris and they're not touching. I checked the surface of my tire to make sure they're at least 232 tread depth and they not mismatched. I checked my inner and outer rim to make sure there's not cracked, damage, and no or broken and no illegal wheels. I checked my lug nuts to make sure they all are present. And look for metal shaving or rust, which indicates looseness. I check my axle seal. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking. Not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my valve stem and cap. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, no leaking. And to check my tire pressure, I would use a tire pressure gauge. I would check my mud flap. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, or cut, or torn, or frayed. Tight and secure. I check my pins and latches to make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or broken. Not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure. I check my strobe lights. Amber in color, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure, and it got a proper rubber seal. I check my lights, which is my brake light, my marker light, my brake light, my marker light, my tail light, my left and right turn signal, my four-way flashes, all red in color, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure, and it got a proper rubber seal. I check my reverse light, make sure it's clean. It's clear in color, not cracked, damaged, or broken, not missing nuts and bolts, tight and secure, and it got a proper rubber seal. I check my DOT tape. Make sure it's clean and clear, not peeling. I would check my passenger side like I check my driver's side with a few exceptions. I'm going to name them. I check my exhaust. Make sure it's not cracked, damaged, broken, no leaking. I check for common soot, which will indicate there's a leak. I got a fully charged ABC fire extinguisher. I got 3 reflector triangles. I got a fully stocked first aid kit and spare fuses. Now I will ask the examiner to check my external lights. So I will close my hood. Put my key in the ignition. Turn my power on. Put on my seatbelt. Close my door. Now I'm doing a safe start. So I will turn my vehicle to the electric on the safe start. Let us go through a cycle. Then start the vehicle up. Now I will do my left turn signal, my right turn signal. My headlights are on. I will check my high beam. Then the examiner will go to the rear. I will do the same thing. I will check my left turn signal, my right turn signal. Every time he will put his thumb and indicate to go to the next one. Then I will do my 4-way flashes, which is in the front and in the rear. And then I will put my vehicle in reverse. I'll put it back in neutral. At this time, the examiner gonna come and get in the vehicle. And once the examiner get in, you're gonna tell the examiner, once again, your ABS light came on and off when you started up the vehicle. Your seatbelt latches unlatched smoothly. It's not cut, torn, or frayed, or damaged. You got your mirrors are adjusted for you. You got a 20-inch steering wheel, no more than 2-inch play in the middle. Your air horn, city horn, your air horn. And you go there and then you do your light indicators on the inside. Your left turn signal, your right turn signal, your high beam, your 4-way flashes, your windshield wiper and windshield wiper fluid. Then you tell the examiner, my oil is at the proper level, my temperature is at the proper read, my miles per hour is at 0 because I'm standing still. I got enough fuel for the road test, and my PSI reading at 120. I got a yellow diamond-shaped parking brake knob, not cracked, damaged, broken, no leaking. I'm missing nuts and bolts, tight, secure. Then my defrost. Put your hand up here. I hear it and I feel it. Turn it to the heat. I hear it and I feel it. At this time, you want to begin your air brake test. So you tell the examiner, I'd like to give my 1-minute air brake test. Can you assist me? You're going to say, yeah. You cut the vehicle off. Cut it back to the electric. Ask the examiner, is he ready? The examiner say, yeah. I'm pushing the brake and put the brake on. Stop it. At this time, you're going to tell the examiner, I should not lose no more than 3 PSI in 1 minute. And while the 1 minute is going, for time purposes, once the examiner say the 1 minute is up, you're going to say, I did not lose no more than 3 PSI in 1 minute. Now I like to do a fan down. When I get to 70, 60, my warning buzzer going to come on. Then you start fanning. That's my warning light and buzzer. When I get to 40, 30, my parking brake knob going to pop out. That's my parking brake knob. Then you're going to start the vehicle back up. Put your foot on the gas. build your pressure back up. Try not to go past 15 miles RPM. This helps speed your air pressure building back up. This time you tell them when I get this 60, 70, because now you're going up, your the sound in your parking brake air pressure should go out. Okay, my air pressure just went out. The horn. When I get to 120, the air governor gonna cut out. And you see two gauges and it's a dump truck. You see P, which is your primary air tank. S is your secondary air tank. That's your air governor cut out at 120. Now, you like to check your parking brake knob. So you put your foot on the brake, put your foot in drive, put your gear in drive, make sure it's at its lowest gear. You tap the gas, my parking brake here. Put it back in neutral. Then you tell the examiner, you tell him this is not performing. You say, I would drive 5 miles per hour, I would hit my service brake, and my vehicle should move to the left or the right. And this complete my pre-trip.